Welcome to Wartime Cafe. Before we continue with this new episode, I ask you to press the subscribe button on whatever social media platform you're watching this on, and to go to our website, freepalestine.video, to donate so we can continue bringing you this great content. Uh, we are in Barzakh Cafe again on Al Hamra in Beirut, and we have with us a new guest, Razan Zuayter, Palestinian Jordanian agricultural sovereignty activist. And she's here in Lebanon to help in the replanting of olive trees and other plants in the south of Lebanon because of the destruction that happened during the Al Aqsa flood and the war that followed. Razan, thank you very much for being with us. Thank you for giving us this time. Um, Not a lot of people obviously know about your background. A lot of people in the region here have known you for more than almost 2 decades now, if not a little bit more, with your activism on agricultural sovereignty. Can we try to give the audience a little bit about your background? I know you were born in Nablus, which is the hometown of my mother's family, Al Kilani. So we have some
things in common.
some
So
things in
many
common.
things in common.
Yes. So how you were born in Nablus, but you ended up in Amman, and you became a Jordanian citizen also.
Not exactly. I was born in Nablus. Then I remember going to Damascus, living there for a year. Then going to Iran, living there 3 years. Coming back to Amman, living 5 years. Then going to Lebanon, living 4 years, and then 1 year in the US, and back to Lebanon to continue my 15th year in Lebanon. At that time, I have finished my university. I got married to my colleague in the university, my university mate. And the night we came from our honeymoon, Israel invaded Lebanon. So there was the currency collapsed, and we had really lost
That's
everything.
1982.
82. And then we took the car. We had nothing except that car. We went to Jordan to see what can we do. And since then, our base was in Jordan. So I've lived in so many places.
So you did end up in Jordan, but you're just saying you don't have citizenship, or
I do.
You do. Okay.
I have, when you introduced me, you said the Jordanian Palestinian, but actually I am also so much Lebanese.
I know it's hard. Once
I
you
grew
live
up
here.
in Lebanon. I found myself in Lebanon. I discovered that studying is not everything in Lebanon. I discovered how people can have revolution in their minds. The only country I lived in which I felt there's oxygen in the creativity and the resistance to injustice. So yes, Lebanon is the country that I'm in love with.
And you said you went to Iran also.
Yes.
How was that experience? Was obviously in the late 70s, early.
It was at the very end of the Shah. I was very, very young. My father was a diplomat there. I learned the language. I forgot it. I also loved Iran as well. So, now I still have this care and love for this country, and I feel very sorry for those who demonize Iran.
It's very much that the Arabic people and the Iranians and Muslims in general are very much demonized in
Yes.
Western societies.
Yes. But we fell in the trap as well. So of demonizing ourselves, because we are all one. The same actually language, because the Iranian they still write in the Arabic script. So many letters are in Arabic. So many words are in Arabic, and they are in love with the Arabs, because every Muslim country I visited or met the people who are not Arabs, they are proud of the Quran, and they I don't know this conflicts between each other. is a, as you know, it's a strategy to keep us
It's a strategy
on
of
the ground.
colonialism
Yes,
and
yes, yes,
imperialism,
yes.
divide and conquer. And it's very obvious, even more so in Bilad al-Sham. You know, we have the same cuisine, the same music, the same habits.
We don't want to start this beautiful meeting with crying, but this is what's killing me. We have are so similar. We you know this but we will never give up. We'll unite the people through in my case through the love of land, of olives, of trees, uh, and go back to the roots of our unity, our unity and diversity. Our diversity in the unity and the unity in diversity is very clear in this region.
When you went to the American University of Beirut, you decided to study agricultural sciences. What led you there?
Two reasons. Actually, I always felt I'm uprooted. I've always felt myself looking for my roots, and agriculture has this idea of rooting and the land. And the other thing, very simple, I did an aptitude test in the university, and I discovered that I love open spaces. I hate hypocrisy. I enjoy meeting, genuine people. So all these together led me to study agriculture. Although I didn't plant anything before, I was always living in floors, in apartments. But I
the
felt so
concrete
attached.
jungle.
Yes, but I really found myself there.
It is, this path of going into agricultural sciences led you eventually to begin your activism in agricultural sovereignty. And your first initiative was in the Green Caravan in the year 2000?
No.
No?
My first initiative was really for Palestine. As I told you, when we went to Amman, we had nothing, to start with, so we had to work very, very hard. And we had a family of 3 children. So I remember myself, working from morning to night, and with the children, it was very hectic. But the year 2000, when the Intifada exploded, and I was a bit comfortable in my family and financially, and I saw Muhammad Durra, if you remember, and
He was assassinated in Gaza in the first week of the second Intifada, with his father,
yes,
trying to hide him. It's a very...
and I said, why are we silent? And then I happened to see on the TV a Palestinian farmer crying because they uprooted his trees, 100 years old. And at that time, my daughter, Maryam, surprised me with a question. She said, why are they uprooting the trees? She was 10. Tell me, what do they say? I want to hear their opinion. So I tried to be objective. I told her, probably they think it's their land and they are free to do whatever they like. She told me, they're lying. And they lying because if they love the land, they will not uproot the trees. And all these, moved in my mind. I was very angry, extremely angry. All of us were very angry. So I said, there's no way to cure our anger, but turn it into action. And I said, what can I do? I have no resources. The political situation does not allow us to be vocal, So the available tools were to replant the trees. And I promised myself to do so. And we, with family and friends, we started this initiative of, I call it green resistance. They uproot 1 tree, we plant 10. This was year 2000. And we started working at the time and under the umbrella of Welfare Association. 2003, we and welfare, we decided that this might be too political. So we decided to start the Arab Group for the Protection of Nature.
Yes.
So it's registered in Amman with, we have a General Assembly, we have very official financing, and we have elections, and we have a board members. So we institutionalized this initiative. And we started, and then, few months later, we realized that Jordan is also in need of support for agriculture. The agriculture is marginalized as exactly like any other Arab country. Later, I realized all our region, it's intended to marginalize agriculture. And later I realized that that is why we lack sovereignty, political sovereignty. It all came clear as years went by that all of it is, like a puzzle. For me, I understand much better now why agriculture is marginalized. So we started our project in Jordan under the name Green Caravan.
Yes.
And we till now we have supported 12,000 farmers in Jordan. In Palestine, around 45,000 farmers.
This Green Caravan was launched to plant 2,000 trees in Karak, which is a historic city in Jordan that people should visit. Beautiful place. And your work in the West Bank and starting the 2003 with the
2000. We really started 2000. But we were, not registered as
as a group. But
in 2003, it became registered with the bylaws and with very legal, formal.
And since then, since the actual launch of the Arab Group for the Protection of Nature, you have planted more than 2 million trees in the West Bank. Yes?
No. We are starting our 4th million.
Wow.
We have planted 250,000 to 250,000 trees. In addition to other things that we're not only planting trees. We are supporting with the irrigation, with seeds, with bees, with even fisher nets in Gaza.
Digging wells.
Yes, and it's not allowed digging wells, but harvesting wells. They are they like big tanks, which we build them with cement to gather water in, because it's water,
rainwater collection.
Yes, and rainwater and water harvesting, and collection tanks, because the Zionists forbid Palestinians to dig wells. And it's very sad that also this influenced also Jordan, the Jordan Valley. They are not allowed to dig wells, because the Israelis want their water table to be intact for their use. Lack of sovereignty everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy, because we live in the Fertile Crescent, and this is the most fertile land on the planet, and it has sustained the people here and their ability to resist occupation and colonization over 12,000 years from outside. And now we find ourselves with the majority of the lands between the two rivers, the Euphrates and Tigris, being poisoned with all that depleted uranium. And on the coastal part of Bilad al-Sham, we see the destruction of the farms in Lebanon and Palestine, and the neglect of the farming in Jordan. Definitely we are in, I think, the worst situation food sovereignty-wise in our collective history.
Yes. Yeah, this is very true. And this is what's really should be said loud, so that people would regain their self-confidence, because As you said, we are the first region who planted olives, the first region who planted wheat. We are the inventors of plow. We carried the agriculture. Our region was the first region to organize the agriculture as a profession, and through our region and through the Andalus, these developments went into Europe. We brought to Europe so many plants like orange, like cotton. Now, at this moment, our region is the biggest importer of food in the world. Imagine. We are not planting more than 30% of the lands which are good for planting. So we are very busy in conflicts, killing each other, spilling our blood with stupid sectarian conflicts, and we are really not aware that we are, as you said, in the worst of our times. But as I tell you, we never give up. Knowing that we are and we can and we have been, we always can come out of this. And I see light. I see light because as I told you, we are supporting farmers, and the way they are dealing with their land despite all this misery. I give you an example of Gaza, for example. We are also partners with farmers in Gaza all through this time. And they are planting despite the genocide, ecocide, and they are doing, marvelous work, and they are happy. And we can show a film later, if you like, 1 minute.
Yes.
About our work in Gaza.
Perfect. We'll take that video and we'll drop it in the episode for our audience to look at this amazing work during this genocide and non-stop destruction of the country and of Gaza, the land of Gaza. The Food Sovereignty Initiative you started in Jordan. Not a lot of people understand how neglected are the lands of the Jordan Valley on the Jordanian side. That is on the occupied part in the Palestine.
They are making billions out of the other side.
And I was born in Amman in Jordan, and I lived there. Did my high school degree there. My aunts and uncles are there. I go visit them whenever I can, and every time I went down to the Jordan Valley, I was shocked at the microcosm weather patterns there that keep it
like a greenhouse.
Greenhouse.
It's a beautiful greenhouse,
And then I
without
was
fuel,
shocked.
without spending anything.
And then I was shocked at the amount of neglect to the farmers and the inhabitants of the area there is. How do you see, your food sovereignty initiative in Jordan? How is it working to better that situation?
First of all, we had to raise awareness of the difference between food security, which is fashionable now all over the world, and food sovereignty. And I always give the example of the prisoner when we talk about food security. If we can get your food, never mind where from, like a prisoner can get his food and be secured, food secure, but still a prisoner. But food sovereignty is when you plant your food yourself, using your mind, your strategy, your ambitions, your culture, your resources. This is very different. Nobody dictates to you what you should eat, how you should do it. Let me give you an example. For example, I always also use this example. They marketed corn oil as much healthier than olive oil. Okay, this is we were all following. Many of us, fell in that. That or corn oil is lighter, it's nicer, it's
Better for your health.
better for your health. And then later, everybody discovered the myth, and like they said, for example, the The powder milk is healthier than mom's milk, for example. So food sovereignty is using mom's milk, olive oil, and all the things that you grow, that you like to eat, the za'atar, زيت
Plants that are
الزعتر.
indigenous to the
Yes,
region.
I miss زيت الزعتر anywhere I go in the world. They said this is my food. So and it's all connected. You know, political sovereignty is linked to food sovereignty. It's linked to self-confidence. It's linked to ability to resist, to be resilient. It's all connected. It's so much connected. This is my lesson learned, you know, so far.
And you know, this issue of food sovereignty even gets more crucial in places like Palestine, where we have a lot of wild plants
Yeah.
that we harvest to eat, including the za'atar, including
Da'kub.
Akub, aywa. And obviously, we see what's happening in the West Bank with the Zionists banning the wild harvesting.
Yes.
So, how how does this affect yani, in the West Bank? We understand what's happening in Gaza, the total destruction of the agricultural base there. But in the West Bank, how does the banning of harvesting wild edibles and the attacks on these orchards of olives combine together to make the Palestinians in the West Bank less secure food-wise?
You know, since they started, you know, and I say our problem didn't start 1948. Since 1840, they realized that they should attack our agricultural culture and should commodify the land after it was the main purpose of land was to feed people. Then intentionally the colonizers with their consulates came to Palestine, not as to Palestine alone, by the way, to all this region, Syria. They turned the land from a production unit to a commodity, with the banks, with loans, with then, as you know, later the World Bank and all these monetary fund and so on. So the land was commodified. The other thing, the trying to destroy the agricultural system, the terraces, the olives. At the beginning, they really killed so many olive groves in 48, and substituted them by this conifers saru, which was very fatal to the land, because you cannot grow the wildflowers or the wild plants cannot grow underneath conifers.
Yeah, with the shade and
The drippings, like a glue.
sap. Yes.
So, and they also controlled water, of course, as you know. For Jordan, they stole the Jordan River water, and they continued to uproot trees. At year 2000, when we started our resistance, many days we calculated them uprooting 1 tree per minute. So it was intentional, systematic, and from the beginning there was a war on food. What's happening in Gaza did not start in October, because we are there, we are following. We started working in Gaza 25 years ago. After every war, we realized that they targeted the infrastructure of agriculture. We documented, we took pictures of water units, filters targeted, you know, chicken farms, cows targeted, as they treat them as an enemy. So 2008, imagine, Laith, they decided to calculate the amount of calories entering Gaza. And then the Olmert's consultant said, we want to keep them hungry, not to die. So they allowed the entrance of specific amount of food. But after 7 October, as you know, they shifted into no, we want them to die of hunger. So it's an agricultural war. You asked me about food sovereignty, how we trying to work with advocating food sovereignty. We started educating ourselves and sharing this knowledge with everybody. We founded the Arab Network for Food Sovereignty, which has 35 organizations, farmers, fishermen, rural people. Anyway, they and even consumers groups from 15 countries. And we started to unify our work. We started to try to influence the regional platforms, the international platform, with our right to be sovereign.
Yeah, so the same problem is happening across the whole Arabic world, and your Arab network of food sovereignty that you just mentioned uh, can now have a wider view of these strategies that the West is using to undermine food sovereignty in the
But
region.
just before I forget, all of us know what Kissinger said, that if you want to control the nations, control oil. If you want to control people, control food. It's not only him. There are other officials had said the same, which proved that it's a strategy. It's not, haphazard.
Yeah.
They aim at keeping us controlled from the margin of food.
Yeah, so we see, for instance, this policy to plant olive trees in Arabic countries that grow very fast and produce
Yeah.
olives for a very short period before they die, in comparison to the local.
Surani or Nibali.
Yes, even in Tunis, this now is a big problem. So let's talk about a little bit that, going back to indigenous varieties to try to fight the problems there, and how does these indigenous varieties of plants, whether it's the wheat in Syria and or the cotton of Syria that is good for the water reserves and so forth, and or the olives, how does this help the nations like Lebanon and Palestine and Jordan achieve this sovereignty by returning to indigenous plants?
It's extremely important. But it's not enough. We need research. We start from our indigenous seeds, native seeds. For example, as you said, the olives, our native species and genus, they are adapted to this land, hardier. They can resist drought more, long lived. They are the heroes of trees. And as you said, they are trying to introduce our enemies try to introduce a new variety, but now the farmers know that the big difference. And also from Europe, now I heard so many farmers asking me yesterday about the Spanish varieties, which they might be quicker, but they cannot resist drought, and they are short-lived, as you said. But on the other hand, we need to have research to work on them, to start from them, and then do trials to come out with varieties that come out of these indigenous seeds. I remember when I was in the university, remembering companies sending their employees to see the indigenous seeds, to take them back, use a little bit of hybridization, and there's a difference between hybrids and genetically modified. Okay, we are against genetically modifying seeds, but in research you can come out with hybrids that resist more droughts or let's say diseases or insects. So there should be an ongoing research work to come out with varieties like in Syria, for example, the wheat. They work on the original ones, but also they marry them to each other to come out with new varieties. Always depending on the roots, on the indigenous resources.
Syria had this seed bank, historical seed bank that included all the arc of thousands of years of seeds that were looted and stolen, and now they're in the Nordic whatever reserve that they have of seeds. Do we have other seed banks, reserves of these indigenous varieties in the region?
There is awareness now on this. They Palestine, they are working on their banks in Jordan as well, Lebanon. So there is awareness on that, and I'm optimistic that we can reset our resources as long as there is awareness of their importance.
Hopefully, the Arab network of food sovereignty would work on this. Inshallah, you guys can continue your great work, and this could be something that you can do on. So, obviously, there's ecocide happening in Gaza. It's out in the open; everybody can see it. And your initiatives.
There is famine and ecocide. And famine, although they deny it, but there is 30% of the people in Gaza are facing now the higher rate of starvation. You know, there are five stages of starvation. So in the very, very high, in the fourth, maybe they are 90% the extreme starvation, but in famine, which means they can be martyrs. If they don't eat, the number reached to 30%, which is unprecedented. And there's the ecocide, which is also we are making a big issue about it. We are preparing for 2 tribunals, popular tribunal exactly about ecocide, because genocide has been covered, and with the with the International Court of Justice. But nobody is talking about ecocide. It's obvious that the people, the international platforms are blinding themselves from the fact that the Zionists are committing ecocide. So we have to talk more about the ecocide.
And they are linked, the starvation, famine,
Yes.
and ecocide.
100%. Of course. But we have to bring these words up, famine and ecocide, and we have to go deep into legal matters, which we are trying now with lawyers. Our tribunal, inshallah, will be in Spain at the end of this year. And there's another one around that time in England I hope you cover them also with us.
We hope so, and we the minute you have more details about this, we would love to accompany you.
Maybe you can interview our lawyer who has done research on ecocide for that tribunal.
Yes, and the minute you have more details, we will advertise it. This is a very crucial, important issue, and a lot of people, with all the genocide and mass killing, get to forget the issues of ecology and food sovereignty.
Yes.
There's so much damage and hurt. You're here in Lebanon. You're trying to extend the goodwill and the knowledge that you have with the activists that are here in Lebanon. We went a couple of weeks ago, before you arrived here, with the agricultural movement in Lebanon. They were starting to plant some of the indigenous varieties of fig and fruits and so forth. It was beautiful. We did a clip with them. And then we were invited by them, saying that you're here with your group and with another coalition of bigger groups trying to plant olive trees. And for our viewers that don't know, they can go and watch some of our reports from the south. We saw thousands of olive trees destroyed, uprooted, burnt, and stolen. I mean, we were in Kafr Kila, which is right on the border. Also, the Israeli colony is right on top of them, and they had uprooted hundreds of trees that are, you know,
Thousands of
200,
years. Yeah.
thousands of years old. It's heartbreaking. So, tell us about this initiative here in Lebanon. How's the response of the officials and the local organizations coming together?
Yes, it's a continuation of our resistance. They uproot one tree, we plant 10. We are one with Lebanon. It's the least we can do is to extend our work from Palestine, Jordan to Lebanon. We are partnering with the agricultural movement, and they are also part of the Arab Network of Food Sovereignty. And we are open to any group interested to be part. It's a national initiative that we hope to be a regional one, even an international one, a human initiative to resist the ecocide and to resist the famine expected also in the unfortunately in these areas affected by the Israeli atrocities. And then we thought of starting with olives, of course. We can extend later to other kinds, but now together for Lebanon's olives, we have planted 2,200 trees. And we yesterday it was amazing. You were there. The we cried as you know, the mothers of martyrs came to pick olives to plant them. This strength, this unbelievable power of these people, we learn a lot from them. We learn a lot. You can see the glow in their eyes when they hug their trees and they run to plant them. So we hope to continue this initiative. Our first target is 50,000 trees, and then we hope to couple it with other support. We are also working that the Lebanese would support also the planting, and they are ready. We started to get the donations from the Lebanese friends. People are very excited that they found this initiative. So this initiative started from Jordan, but now it will extend, I think, and we will never give up.
You're hoping that this initiative here in Lebanon continues, and you mentioned obviously that there's a good reception. People in Lebanon are ready, they want to do something. But people outside the region, if they want to donate, if they want to get involved somehow, is there a possibility for them to?
Yes, of course. We have an online link where people can donate. This is what we did for Palestine as well. And we do not take really from foreign institutions or countries. We want to do it alone with people, the Arabs, the Muslims, the people all around the world who are supportive and who feel partners in this initiative. And I'm really sure we can reach our target, the 50,000 this year, inshallah. Inshallah.
So they can go to your website?
Yes.
And
we can share the link with you. Even if they want to be partners with us for Gaza, also there's a link. And by the way, in Gaza, to end this with a happy end, we till now we planted 1,000 dunum, which means 1 million meter square, for 500 farmers. And this gave the Gaza al-Izza 5 million kilos of eggplants, tomatoes, potatoes, onion, garlic, name it. And this helped a lot to lower the prices because they were very high, extremely high. And it gave a smile to the Gazan people. So we are really think we are impactful. By the way, another thing I want to tell you that we felt that we are successful in our resistance when the Israeli settlers were raged by our work, and they produced, documentaries that we are stealing the land from them while they are asleep. They're speaking about West Bank, and they addressed their government to give them drones to follow up our work.
Wow.
And the government gave them around $7 million, and they bought their drones. But we're still going on. We are planting, and we will never stop.
The farmers around the world, when we did this video about the agricultural movement in Lebanon last week, there was a lot of farmers from Europe and North America sending emails or responding on the video saying, how can we help? And also they were saying that they were learning some new things from this video that they didn't think about, they haven't heard about. So obviously your Arabic Network for Food Sovereignty and your work in general has created a network and solidarity between the farmers in the region here.
But also internationally, I am a co-chair of People's Coalition on Food Sovereignty. And it's an international coalition. We have the same beliefs. We feel we are one. They are supporting us a lot on many fronts and on political platforms, even donations and research. We learned a lot from them. The nicest thing about them that the leadership is always from the south in this network, because I've worked with so many international networks that are controlled by the
North and West.
northern NGOs and civil society, which I think many times they follow their government's wishes. But in this coalition, it's managed by us, by the South, and we have done a great work of networking with them.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and because your success will be the success of the people here in the region. Even if I'm not into agriculture,
You are part now.
Yes, no, but I mean, if I'm not the one I know that the work that you're doing is gonna feed me and my children for generations, inshallah, be able to stay sovereign and help us in liberating our land and unifying it as we see this, the curse of Psychos being erased.
The problem that we believe it, we are acting like we are defending Sykes-Picot now. But the land will unite us, I'm sure.
Yes.
As it did yesterday, they came from all over Lebanon to plant with us. This was very touching, even the government gave us the umbrella and their speeches were really very good. The syndicate, the engineering syndicate, also their address was very similar to ours. So we are very optimistic that yes, the land will unify us.
Razan, Zuayter, really thank you very much for giving us your time, and we wish you the best in your work. People can go to apnature.org to learn more about the amazing work they're doing, to donate, to watch some videos, to look at historical documents. And you can go to our website, freepalestine.video, to donate to us so we can continue bringing this content to you. And until we meet next time, I bid you all a free Palestine.